there is a call to the restoration of reasonable service. We must think out your salvation. Paul used words like reckon. And you cannot reckon if you don't go cerebral. This you now that is hopeful. You know, there's a way that freedom creates problems. Somebody was a slave before. He didn't have too much thinking because he had resigned his faith. I'll be a slave here forever. You know, he was not thinking about a house or a car of his own. Now when he becomes free, he's thinking of getting married. God now has a challenge. Find me wife. I cannot be trekking again. When you were a slave, did you have hope that you will buy a car? Many of the expectations you have now were gifted because redemption has given you, some of you, room to dream again. There are things you had shut down. You had looked at your antecedents. Maybe some of you sisters had looked at your antecedents. Nobody had white wedding. All of them, one brother just followed them home and said, I'm pregnant. This is the guy. Maybe even have those who said this is the guy, and the guy said, we have many. Like Legion. So we are many. And you just, the family just planned that. Would I be low? And then you killed there. You with curses and not. The guy said, okay, I was involved, and you agreed. Before you were saved, you felt that there was this jinx that all of you would be like that. Now you are thinking of marrying in a church, wearing a white gown. That new dream that you have, that you will not be like your sisters, was one of the things that redemption brought to you, because it brings the consciousness of newness. I know you've not thought that far. You looked along your bloodline. The last guy that bought a car, he used a Citroen. Is that company still existing? Citroen. They still make cars. But it's not a common car brand again. That's the last time they bought a car. They've told you, say poverty is here. If you enter a car, it's public transport. Now you are saved. You may not have the money, but Jesus has widened your expectations. That I didn't just die for you to make heaven. If not, I would have taken you to heaven. I left you here so that I can demonstrate my excellencies inside you. You will have a car. Is he that kind of person that should be doing Yahoo? You didn't have hope. Jesus gave you hope. You now want to help the hope. Why not wait? You were helped thus far. If they invite you, what you should tell them is, I didn't even have hope that I'll be here. You are the first person who will almost finish university, and you will finish. Maybe your bloodline. Somebody now says you should cheat. What you should tell them is, see, none of us came this far. God brought me this far, and he didn't bring me this far to leave me here. I used to say, when I see people advertising crookedness, I used to say in Yoruba, "Sheni sin wani." Sheni sin wani. When I saw my picture in 2017, and many things did not change in that picture, because in that picture Jibola was the drummer. Did you see the picture? He even had cheeks more, but that's not the Jibola at that time too. Jibola is fine now, but he was finer than me that time. That I stood like this. You don't even know why I stood like this. My top and my trouser, the colors did not even blend. It was blue, dark blue polka dot over gray trouser and brown shoe. That day I still did impartation. I imparted everybody that was here inside and outside. That's how we used to do shifts that time. Not this one that you just stand and Jesus will break into people. My brothers came that night to encourage me. They first stayed long outside. Then I came. Woli already had his own chicks. He stood there. Then Was watchman there? Okay. If you saw watchman's cheek yesterday in his wedding, and that one in the picture, you know that one, all of us were suffering. You saw Apostle Gabriel too. He too was standing there. I think I saw some ladies in the choir. I saw the crown, Sunshine, then Miriam. Yes, she was standing there too. None of us look like what we used to look like. She seen one. You can't tell me I don't have hope now. I had it that time, but it was not visible. We didn't compromise that time. Now we'll not start stealing. Or go and find pot and be talking to it now. There is a sit down and think. Sit down and think. Where did it bring you from? Is it true that your life has been motionless? No, is it really true that God that's follow? I hear people want to castigate people's followership. That since you have been following Jesus, what have you become? Is it true? Let's even assume that you have not become something physically. The nightmares that He saved you from will come. The problem is the people did not add the possibility of you not being saved when you got saved 5 years ago. Can you sit down and calculate if you were not saved 5 years ago, where you will have gotten to now? That's the true measurement. If all that Jesus did was to keep you where you were 5 years ago, and 5 years after you are still at that place, my life was in motion to destruction. If all He did was to stop me from moving, and I covered 5 years on the spot just to be preserved, He still did something. So that's the concept of a bond servant. Paul had understanding. How could I have been sent to advance something, and in time I found a reverse manual that made me begin to act contrary to my ordination in God? I will serve you. I have an opportunity to run away with this salvation and say, Satan, I'm free, but I'm free to be me. He said, no, I'm free to be you. That's the Old Testament concept of a bond servant. Debts cancelled, but by reason I will serve you.